الرحمن الرحيم. On behalf of Egyptian syndicates of engineers, I'm pleased to be with you today in the first meeting of Federation of North African Engineering Organization that Egypt is honored to have its responsibility. First, I would like to welcome Mr. Martin Manhou, the chairman of the Federation of North African Engineering Organization, and Mr. Hafiz Kazawadi, the chairman of the World Federation of Engineering Organization Committee on Anti-Corruption, الأخ العزيز الدكتور أسامة الظاهر, the head of Central Administration for the Minister of Affairs, on behalf of His Excellency Dr. Engineer Muhammad Abdelati, Egyptian Minister of Water Resources and Irrigation, my colleagues and fellows from the brotherly Arab and African countries, my colleagues in the Committee on Foreign Relations and African Affairs, on Egyptian Syndicates of Engineers, honorable ladies and gentlemen. This meeting comes at a time when the world celebrates the International Anti-Corruption Day that the United Nations called for the December 2003, believing that corruption has become an international phenomenon that affects all societies and the countries. This highlights the urgent need to have an international cooperation in order to effectively combat it through a comprehensive and multilateral approach that helps strengthen the state's abilities to combat corruption and eliminate it. The United Nations issued a convention against corruption, which was ratified by 187 countries and signed by Arab Republic of Egypt, that stipulated in the first article the following: to promote and strengthen measures to prevent and combat corruption more efficiently and effectively, to promote, facilitate, and support international cooperation and technical assistance in the prevention of and the fight against corruption, including in assets recovery, to promote integrity, accountability, and the proper management of public affairs and public property. Moreover, the United Nations Convention Against Corruption stipulates several preventive measures to restrain and combat corruption, including but not limited to the following: preventing anti-corruption policies and practices, preventive anti-corruption body or bodies, codes of conduct for public officials, management of public finance, measures the relation to the judiciary and prosecution services, measure to prevent money laundering, participating of society. Egypt has committed itself to combat corruption out of believing that corruption is one of the most crucial obstacles to achieve sustainable development and stability, in order to being a key factor that have negative impact on the economy. Therefore, Egypt has established a specialized agency for this purpose, which is the Sub-Coordinates Committee for the Prevention and the Combating of Corruption, one of the branches of administrative control authority. Moreover, Egypt has the National Anti-Corruption Strategy, which is including developing policies, programs, and mechanisms that enhance the principles of transparency, integrity, and accountability to contribute to preventing and combating corruption through concrete efforts among all concerned entities, led by regulatory institutions, law enforcement agencies, government agencies, and civil society organizations to follow up the implementation of the national plan to combat corruption and restoring it. The Egyptian Syndicate of Engineers is one of the most important civil society organizations in Egypt, as the number of the members reached 800,000 engineers, including engineers consultants, consulting offices, and export houses who participate their work in accordance with the rules of participating the professions issued by the syndicate, and are they spread through Egypt, Arab, and African countries to achieve all engineers' activities in various fields. This promoted us to form the governance, integrity, transparency, and anti-corruption group emanating from the Egyptian Syndicate of Engineers, International Relations, and African Affairs Committee, whose main aim is to broadcast the rules and the methods of combating corruption among all the engineers and combating it in the engineering environment. Given that the engineering activity representative a major activity interrelated with all activities that have great reflection on the economic and social activity. The Egyptian Syndicate of Engineers is currently reissuing the Code of Ethics to be integrated with the National Anti-Corruption Strategy that include enhancing transparency of and promoting engineers' contribution to the decision-making process, ensuring that the engineers have effective access to information, undertaking public information activities that contribute to non-reliance of corruption, as well as program to raise the awareness of engineers, respecting, promoting, and protecting the freedom to seek, receive, publish, and disseminate information concerning corruption in accordance with the governing law, active participation with all concerned parts to build a united front against corruption. Egyptian Syndicate of Engineers is also communicating with engineers organizations in African and Arab countries to integrate our concepts and the applications of anti-corruption regulations. This will allow us all to protect our societies and the economics from various forms of corruption, whether it's administrative or financial. I would like to mention in this regard our colleagues who fought corruption from their positions and were honored them. They are Engineer Ashraf Gouida, Engineer Adil Hassanin Abdelkarim, my God rest their souls, whose name were previously given to the dam that was built in the White Barud Valley within 5 kilometers away from Safaga in Red Sea area, greeting to their pure souls. And the deep thanks to His Excellency Dr. Engineer Muhammad Abdul Ati, the Minister of Irrigation and Water Resources, for launching their name on this dam in 2016. Finally, I would like to express my sincere thanks and appreciation to all the attendees, wishing for ongoing communication for the development of our homelands and especially our engineering community in particular. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.